In this episode of Main Street Magic, we bring you our spring break Walt Disney World trip review in part 3 of a 3-part series. Today, we'll share the amazing time we spent in the parks and how we navigated the crazy spring break crowds. This is episode 62 of the Main Street Magic podcast. Hello and welcome to another episode of Main Street Magic. I am your host, Jeremy Stein, and again, I am joined by my lovely wife, Rhonda.
Hey, guys.
Make sure you check us out on the web at mainstmagic.com, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter at mainstmagic. So if you got a chance to listen to the Capture the Magic podcast with Jared and Jamie yesterday, then you might have heard a pretty cool announcement. That announcement is that Main Street Magic is joining the new Capture the Magic network. Now, as you may know, I co-host a new show called The Diz Dudes with Jared from Capture the Magic podcast, and it's really gotten a lot of positive feedback, and we're enjoying ourselves with that show. As we started to talk more, we thought it'd not only be fun, but smart to form a new network that would include Capture the Magic, Main Street Magic, and The Diz Dudes. And this will also lead to more shows being created in the future on this very network. We're really excited about this new network, and together we'll all be doing vlogs and more content over at the Capture the Magic YouTube channel as well. So make sure you go and subscribe to that channel. And don't worry, you'll still find Main Street Magic on its current feed, and we'll continue to bring you the same content we always have. This will just open up some new opportunities for all of our shows, and you will definitely see some co-host crossovers soon. So if you haven't already, make sure you go back and listen to episode 60 of our show, where we went in full detail about Coronado Springs, where we stayed during spring break, and we shared how we got some very special bonus fast passes for each day. We ended up getting 3 fast passes that were able to be used for multiple experiences for each of our 3 days in the park. And as you listen to this episode and what we did in each park, it'll make a little more sense, I guess, about how we were able to do so much. And then if you want to hear about all the food that we ate during the week, you can go to the last episode and check out episode 61. So our trip started on Monday, the week of March 26th, I believe, or 25th, whatever that Monday was. Mm-hmm. And my parents were going to be driving in, and we thought they'd get there a little bit after lunch. My brother and his kids were flying in. We knew they would probably not get off Magical Express till maybe 1 p.m., maybe 2 p.m. We actually stayed at a friend's who lives about 30 to 45 minutes from Orlando the night before on Sunday night. So we got up Monday morning, and we thought we would head straight to Blizzard Beach. This year we are Platinum Plus pass holders, so the water parks are included. And I've never done the water parks. Rhonda, you and the girls a few years ago when I was traveling on business did Typhoon Lagoon. Mm-hmm. From what you remember at Typhoon Lagoon and your time there, how would you compare Blizzard Beach, or what did you think of Blizzard Beach overall as a water park?
Oh, very different, but I really, really liked Blizzard Beach. And, we'll go back to Typhoon Lagoon, so we'll see. But it also was quite a while ago, and I do remember we were there at Rope Drop, and so we were there at Rope Drop for Blizzard.
Yeah.
Not only because we didn't have much time, but because people go and they kind of get the seats.
Yeah, it fills up quick.
Yeah, I guess they plan to be there pretty much all day, and you want a good seat, and so we did that.
Yeah, and so I think we probably were getting in. I mean, much like anything, you can go ahead and scan your Magic Band at the front. We were there probably 10 that it opened that day. They're going to filter you in through the main areas, and then they're going to stop you literally at a rope. Now, with Blizzard Beach, which is really cool, and do you remember what was the name when they first opened? Because they select someone, they will select a family that basically does the first ride of the day, which is the Summit Plummet. that actually kicks off the beach, and they count down,
Yeah.
and everybody can watch them open the park. But I don't remember what they called that family. You said it out loud when we were there, but now it's escaping me. But from my understanding, if you get there early enough, it's much like how, on Magic Kingdom, you might be the family of the day and you might get a chance to ride in the vehicle for the parade. This is something that's a little bit similar. So getting there earlier is fine. We drove in. Parking was not an issue at all.
We were close.
There is not even a section of paid for parking. So I guess parking's just free in general. Scanned our Magic Bands at the front. We went in, and as soon as they did the rope drop, we immediately found seats right there by the wave pool.
In the sand.
Yeah, in the sand, which was nice. Like, we wanted to get in the sand, and I think the kids did. Now they do have private little like decks, cabanas that were, I think we saw $300 for the day, and from what I could tell, it looked like it fit 6 to 8 people. So something if you want your own private space that's definitely in the shade, you could consider that. There are also options that are a little bit further from the wave pool where you can just rent chairs, and you're guaranteed to have chairs, as opposed to where we had to make sure we went and, we had to seek some out, I guess.
Right.
But we had fun. We only got to be there for 2 hours. We did a couple rides. We did the family tube ride. We did the double ride, which you race each other. We did the lazy river, which was huge. I mean, that thing.
We didn't even
encompass the whole. Yeah, we didn't
get
go the whole
halfway
way.
around.
No,
if that.
Water is all heated, so the wave pool felt good. The lazy river felt good. And at 10 a.m., we've been having in Florida right now the mornings where it could be,
50 to
60? Yeah, 50 to 60 in the morning. And then it still reaches 80 by the afternoon.
Yes.
So to be there at 10 a.m., when I think at that time it was probably about 70 or so.
I think so.
It was nice to have heated.
It really
water.
was. Well, because of our Floridian blood.
Yes, yeah, and mine isn't even originally Floridian, but I've got it now, so I really enjoyed it. And we enjoyed a funnel cake. We had a couple frozen drinks, and by noon we were just heading out because my parents were coming in, and we wanted to go meet them at Coronado Springs,
Right.
Which, by the way, is right down the road from Blizzard Beach.
Yes.
Very close in proximity. I overheard another family that was checking in that they used to actually have a walking path from Coronado to Blizzard Beach, but now that they're under all this construction, it's no longer accessible. But the ride is quick, and if you were even taking a bus ride there or an Uber or something, I mean, you're getting there in a couple minutes. That's probably it.
Right.
So, but we did finish up there, and we just spent, if you go back and listen, we just spent the rest of the day at the hotel. We spent time at the pool. That's where we met our new friend Aaron at the front desk, who gave us these magical fast passes, which you can hear about in episode 60. And our plan was to do Hollywood Studios on Tuesday, Magic Kingdom on Wednesday, and Animal Kingdom on Thursday. My parents, my brother, and his kids had all gotten 3-day park passes. I thought leaving Epcot out was probably the best decision. As far as all the kids and all went, I thought they were going to get the most enjoyment out of these 3 parks, as opposed to spending a day at Epcot because they didn't have Park Hopper. I think that worked out pretty well.
Oh, absolutely. I agree.
So on that Tuesday, we're going to Hollywood Studios, and I got on for all 3 of these. And again, as we go through, you're going to find out that we did not do a standby wait for a ride. We did some standby waits for shows, but because I already had booked the necessary fast passes 60 days in advance, and I got all the good stuff, and then we had these 3, and I'm just going to call them bonus fast passes, which were good for almost anything except your normal tier 1 rides. We were able to do 6 fast passes or more a day. So we never had to worry about a standby queue.
Correct.
Which made the week. And again, I wouldn't say without these bonus fast passes that the week would have gone bad. It's just we probably wouldn't have done as much.
Right.
And while we weren't looking at doing a lot, we were looking more on making memories and spending time with, my extended family who doesn't come to Disney often. Let's be honest, this helped.
It did. It did, but also like rethinking everything, and we didn't use them
We didn't even use everything.
to our
Best advantage.
full advantage.
Yes. And we'll go through some of that. So Tuesday was Hollywood Studios Day, and we actually made it there for Rope Drop. And if you're ever going to make
The
it for
only
Rope
day.
Drop, but if you're going to make it for Rope Drop and you have 10 people, one day I think is pretty impressive.
Yes, I agree.
I mean, it's tough to get 10 people in 3 rooms. You've got 5 adults, 5 children. That's a lot to get together. People want to eat breakfast. People want to relax.
Yep.
People want to, I mean, it's a lot. So I was impressed. Day one, we made Rope Drop.
We did.
And this is a tip for pass holders that worked out really well. We're coming up on the line where we're coming in probably again, maybe 20 of 9 when the park was opening that day. And the regular standby turnstiles were really long. I mean, they were really deep. And we look
shockingly,
over,
pass holder was
not. Yeah. So we look over at pass holder, and there's half a dozen people, if that, in it.
No, I mean, yeah, there was like nobody.
Yeah. So we got in line and standby, and I just said to Rhonda, why don't you run up and just ask a cast member, hey, 10 people, 4 of us are pass holders, 6 are not. We're all here as a family. Is there any way we could come in? And next thing I know, I look up and she's waving us over. So we went right over to pass holder. All 10 of us got in. Meanwhile, there's still a line at the standby, deep out until almost the ticket window. So as we always say, it doesn't hurt to ask.
That's right.
If he had said, no, you can't, Rhonda comes back in line with us and we just wait. Doesn't matter.
Right.
So we went ahead and lined up as we normally do. But normally we wouldn't have these fast passes in our pocket, but I think this is still the smart thing to do. If you've grabbed tier 1, you've probably grabbed Midway Mania.
Right.
I think.
Which we did.
Tower of Terror is on a tier 2, so it's very possible you got that. And Star Tours is a tier 2, so maybe you got that. And those were exactly the fast passes we had booked ahead of time. So normally we would go up and you go right outside of the Starbucks there on the corner. You line up on the right, and as soon as Rope Drop, you just make your way to Rock and Roller Coaster so that you can hopefully have a very short wait.
Right.
I don't even remember what the wait time was when we got up there, but it was already stretching outside of the building.
Oh, the line was very, very long.
But we had bonus Fast Pass. So we had not tested these yet. They showed up in My Disney Experience. It said we had multiple experience Fast Passes. So we went straight to Rock and Roller Coaster in the Fast Pass line. Now, myself... Kaylin and my dad rode that with Rhonda, and then everybody else. I was like, somebody else was there, and then everybody else sat out because they just didn't want to ride it. But right there, we used a bonus Fast Pass. After that, we came out, and I had already scheduled a Tower of Terror Fast Pass for later in the day, even though I was not sure if anybody was going to ride it. So, again, if you didn't have that Fast Pass, I would go straight to Tower of Terror. But even at that point, I think that line during spring break was probably already reaching 50 minutes or so.
Well, and usually we walk really fast, and with your family, we did not.
Right.
And I was explaining because there's a lot of people passing us.
Oh, they're just running. Yeah, women and children, you're screwed because they're flying past you.
So I was explaining all this to your mom that, yes, when it Rope Drops, everybody either goes to Rockin' or Tower. And so, yes, we went to Rockin', but
and again,
I'm sure they were both very, very long.
I still think even if we didn't have that bonus Fast Pass, we would have had pretty good luck, hopefully getting in there within a 30-minute mark to Rockin'.
But then you've also got, there was 4 of us, so 6 people still sitting waiting on us.
Right. Which you don't want to have to leave your party waiting way too long while you're standing in a standby. So again, since we had Tower of Terror later and I wasn't sure who was riding it, we headed right over to Star Wars, the launch bay to meet the characters.
Right.
I really thought it was going to be cool for my nephews to meet the characters. And again, it's not something we do all the time, so I get excited to meet them. Mm-hmm. We went, BB-8? 10 minutes? Maybe. We walked right in on as soon as BB-8 was done, we went out and we did Kylo. 10 minutes, maybe. Once Kylo was done, we had to take a bathroom break, which was a very common theme and occurrence when you have 10 people. You will take
Yes.
Lots and lots of
Lots of
bathroom
them.
breaks. Took a bathroom break, came right back in, and maybe waited 15 minutes for Chewy.
Yeah, about that, maybe a little bit longer. But
Yeah.
of course, you've got 10 people, so it doesn't seem as long sometimes.
Right. But again, we met all 3 Star Wars Launch Bay characters in under an hour with a bathroom break with 10 people,
Yes.
which is pretty good. And then what was the cutoff for BB-8? Do you remember as the amount of people that were in? Because we actually were okay this time.
Yeah, 10 was fine.
I think
But
it's
we
normally
didn't get
10,
in the picture.
Yeah, it's 10 or 11 normally. So if you
We
do
had
have
12. What was
the
it? We
last
had
trip.
12 the last trip, so then it was 11, which
I
was
think so.
weird.
Yep.
Because I
Because
stayed
it's a
out.
smaller room than Chewie and Kylo. So if you do have a party larger than 11, I'm pretty sure it is, you will have to split them up. When we did it last time, we split up Rhonda and then the 11 of us, which I don't know why we did that. I think because we just had a group and wanted all the kids to experience it.
Yeah.
But Rhonda literally went in, met BB-8 by herself.
I got pictures too.
Got awesome pictures. They're some of my favorite. And then the 11 of us went in,
Right.
which was weird. They couldn't fit one more tiny little Rhonda in there. But
Thanks,
I'm sure
honey.
there's fire hazards and all. So once we came out of there, we were at the perfect spot for the Little Mermaid
Right.
show, which is one of my mom's favorites. And, we absolutely love it too. Again, this trip was very much not about us. It was about my family. We can
More
go see
about
the
your
Little
mom and
Mermaid.
the kids.
I mean, we can go see the Little Mermaid once a month if we want or more. So we don't always do it. We wanted to make sure that my mom especially and the kids were doing the things that they wanted to do. So now I've always said, other than the times that we experienced during spring break and the really, really crowded times, I'm not a fan of getting fast passes for shows.
Yeah.
I don't think they're 99% of the time they're not necessary. For the Little Mermaid, they were not necessary. I think we walked up about 5 minutes prior, but it was the first time I got a little bit nervous looking at the line and thinking, are we going to get in for this show?
Right.
We did get in. Theater was full. It was fine. No need for fast pass.
No, we sat in the back, like in the middle. It was a
Yeah.
great
Yep.
location, great viewing.
But we were definitely at the point where they're squeezing everyone in that they can, where it's not like if you got into an empty row, you could sit in the middle and stay there and leave all these empty seats to your left.
Right.
They were definitely at squeeze point all week long.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll get into that more in a little bit. So we did Little Mermaid, and then we had a scheduled fast pass for Star Tours. And if you think that we literally just went from attraction to attraction to attraction, we didn't. There are times in here, if you go back and you listen to last episode, that we ate at 50's prime time. There are times that, again, we stopped for several bathroom breaks, that we walked slowly.
Yes.
We just want to go through our time at the parks and the things that we did and hopefully offer some insight to those. So headed over to Star Tours, and wait time at that point, I want to say for Star Tours, standby was about 50 minutes or so.
Was it?
Out the door. You know, it was actually up under the AT-AT at that point. Mm-hmm. We got in pretty good through Fast Pass and enjoyed Star Tours. And then after that, we had a scheduled Fast Pass. I'd done these fairly well for Midway Mania. Mm-hmm. Midway Mania here coming up. I believe it is now April 9th through May 7th. There will be no opportunity for Fast Pass. Because of the fact that they are moving the entrance to the other side for Toy Story Land, and there's going to be a lot of construction going on. They're shutting down those fast passes. Oh. But we were obviously lucky to have one on this trip, and so we were able to use Fast Pass. Came out of Midway Mania, and this a lot of this progression through the park you'll see often. For us, I know we went from Little Mermaid all the way to Star Tours, which is kind of on the other side of the park, and then we're coming all the way back to Midway Mania, but sometimes I'm not one to always base fast passes on location, you know, and try and tier them in a sense where it's just one next to the other. I like more of just getting whatever's the hardest at the times I can get it and working our way around it. But we don't mind walking across the park to get from one thing to the other. We're okay with that.
Right.
If your family is not, then definitely look at a park map, and as you schedule fast passes, make sure you do it accordingly, where you make your way around the park in a little bit more of a logistic manner. I just throw logistics out the window, and I'm like, look, I'll drag these 9 people to the other side of the park. So, so after Midway Mania, we were right there for the Frozen sing along. Again, did not bother with a regular fast pass. Did not bother with a bonus fast pass.
I thought we did Frozen sing along after we found out the stunt show.
We did. Yeah. Let's move up to what happened next, which was the Indiana Jones stunt show.
After Midway
you're
Mania,
correct.
we headed to the Indiana stunt
We did.
show, and we did not use a fast pass.
We did not. And this was on my brother's list because he knew his boys would really like it. We went 4.5 years ago with his boys, and they pretty much they were young. They were 3.5, so they kind of covered their eyes, covered their ears. Lacey hated it at that time.
And that's when it was full. Correct?
It was 100% full.
So
Like
we were
literally,
gonna
they
come
weren't
back.
allowing people to come in, even if you had a fast pass.
Right.
Because I walked up and said, "Hey, we have a fast pass, a bonus fast pass. Can we use
Right.
it?" And they said, "No, we're full." I said, "Okay." Then we went to Frozen.
Then we went to Frozen sing along.
And figured we would catch the next Indiana Jones.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
And then we were going to use a fast pass.
Well,
Wow.
so we went back to Indiana Jones, and they were just letting people in,
should
and we got there 30 minutes prior. So in my brilliant Disney mind, while 9 other people said, "Hey, should we just go ahead and use a fast pass in case?" I said, "Nah, we don't need it." So we got in line.
Especially when you have 3 other bonuses, which on this trip, let me just say, how many do we use?
So we got in line. I'm not a math wizard. I don't remember.
It was just one.
All right, so we got in line, and they filter you in, and there's somebody walking through with a counter. They're counting who's in the standby.
It was.
Right? So
And honestly, where we were in standby,
seemed good.
yes, I agree. We've been there before, and we
Right. Had a
Sat.
perfect seat. We didn't know of course, we didn't know what the fast pass line looked like. So they start letting people in, and we're getting in, and we realize there's not a single seat left, and it's
we had
standing
to
room only.
stand. And then there was even people sitting on what?
The back wall. or ledge.
Yeah, some wall ledge thing, and I'm
If
like,
we had
they were
stood-
getting
yeah,
mad.
if we had stood, we would have been in front of them.
It was ridiculous. And this nice girl Sydney
Yeah.
ended up giving us, because we were so
Well, we voiced our concern of
because your dad and his knee, they couldn't stand.
yes.
They couldn't.
There's no way my dad could have stand, and there's no way 5 children would have stood or been able to see.
Right.
And
but
in
we
my
could have
opinion, you
stood,
do not
but
allow standing room only in a situation
I
like
agree.
that. But they need to allow as many people as they possibly can for a limited number of shows because it's spring break. That part I get. I would just say something like that. I don't know. So we ended up talking to a girl, and she gave us paper fast passes. We hear you,
think so,
Taco.
Taco?
Yeah.
Is that what you think?
So he wasn't happy with it either, and he's not even there with us. So she gave us paper fast pass tickets that we could come back to Indiana Jones or use at basically any other show. So if you really think about it,
really?
we now had 7 fast passes for that day. So we left, and we decided to go ahead and go over and do the Beauty and the Beast show because we were going to be at one of the last showings of the day. This was the must do for my mom on that day, so we wanted to make sure we did it. We didn't use a fast pass, but we were there early enough, and we had great seating.
We did.
Okay, so
Still should have
great
used a
seating.
fast pass.
I'm not even sure if we could have because remember at this point in time, Beauty and the Beast is still a tier 1, which is absolute insanity.
Well, anyways.
But didn't use a fast pass, had great seating. Came out of there. This was the point where I had a Tower of Terror fast pass, and nobody pretty much but me really wanted to ride it.
Well, I
My
think at
dad
this
would
point,
have if I think more people would have ridden
Yeah.
it, but we weren't. My dad and I weren't going to do it and make 8 people wait behind.
Well,
And you probably would have done it, but none of the kids were.
probably, but Tower of Terror is not my favorite because the way it makes your stomach, in my opinion, go up and down. But that's not even the
It
point.
makes
I
every
think,
part. It makes all your body go up and down.
Wow.
It's not just your stomach.
yeah, but
It'd be a weird ride.
makes my. Anyways, I think too it was a situation where, at this point, I mean,
We're starting to burn out,
We were
too.
closer to dinner time.
I think we saw last Beauty and the Beast show is at 5. I can't remember if we saw the 5 o'clock or we saw the one prior, but again, we had been there for a while, and
yeah,
it was 10 people. 6 of these people are not used to doing all day in a park.
Let's see.
So
the next Indiana Jones show was at
6:15.
6, right?
6:15.
And we were going to and then it just
we just decided
just
to
decided
back
not
out.
to.
Yeah. So we we headed out, but we literally left a scheduled fast pass on the table, and we left technically 3 bonus fast passes on the table.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like we could go out and, sell them or pawn them off in the parking lot, because that would have been pretty cool. But anyway, so that was our Tuesday. Moving on. That was our Tuesday. Wednesday was going to be our Magic Kingdom day.
Mm-hmm.
We had talked in the morning. Magic Kingdom actually opened at 8 o'clock that morning to everyone.
And after Hollywood, nobody wanted to be for a rope drop. And not even me.
And remember, we went back and we had dinner at the hotel. We went to the pool. We stayed up a little late. I mean, we really enjoyed the hotel, so nobody wanted to be up too early. So we decided we'd meet at 9:15. Now, Hollywood Studios, we drove and we parked.
Right.
As we will to every single park, except where we went on Wednesday, which is Magic Kingdom. We were going to go ahead and use the internal Disney bus transportation system for Magic Kingdom because parking there is a nightmare. You have to park at TTC. You usually have to take a tram to TTC from your parking spot. You then have to take either monorail or ferry boat over to the Magic Kingdom. So we didn't want to deal with driving. We decided just to go on the bus system. Of course, it was one of those situations where as we're walking down to the bus system, a minute really mattered because we saw a Magic Kingdom bus pulling away, and it was 25 to 30 minutes later before the next one came.
Yeah.
So we weren't getting into Magic Kingdom till 9:45, almost 10 o'clock that morning.
Mm-hmm.
So normally, and again, if you listen to this show, my go-to is getting there at rope drop or getting there early and going immediately left into Adventureland. Normally, you can do Jungle Cruise, you can do Pirates, you can maybe even make your way up to a Big Thunder or Haunted within the first hour of your day. The fact that we got there at 9:45, 10 o'clock, this was not going to happen. We went up Swiss Family first because we were passing it.
Bonus was going to come in very much
today
handy.
Was bonus day. Like Magic Kingdom, the bonus was it, man. So we went up and did Swiss Family, which I think kids enjoyed enough. And again, I wanted my nephews and niece to enjoy that and all. And of course, nothing like dragging my dad up and down 8 flights of stairs after he's had reconstructive knee surgery several times. But anyway, so we get around to Jungle Cruise, and I'm thinking at this point, maybe we can just wait.
It was
70 minutes.
70.
Nope. Not going to wait 70 minutes.
Bonus
Fast Pass. Did Jungle Cruise, walked out, and did Tiki Room.
Yeah, because your dad said we were headed to Pirates, but your dad was
we were getting Dole Whips first. We all ordered Dole Whips
after
Tiki Room, but we knew that was going to be on the plan. So as we were going to go get the Dole Whips, it was like, well, there's Tiki Room, let's do it. 08 got right in, but it was fairly full. Got our Dole Whips. I'm sure there was a bathroom break in here somewhere.
Yeah.
And then we headed up right over to Pirates.
Do you remember the weight?
I want to say, and I posted all these on Twitter. I want to say it was like 65 or 70. Bonus Fast Pass. After Pirates, we went around and did Country Bear Jamboree.
Jared's favorite.
I sent some pictures to Jared from Capture the Magic and trolled him with the animatronic scary bears. We had some fun, but we watched it. And again, I think it was enough for the kids to enjoy. Like, I remember like Luke and Jack, I think, had a really good time.
The more I looked at it, it was like, they really are creepy.
And again, my dad's nickname is Big Al, and there's Big Al in the Country Bear Jamboree, so that was kind of on his must-do list. And as we walked out of there, who do we see walking around full character?
Well, first he was sitting.
Big Al. Yeah, he was sitting and getting pictures.
He's pretty big.
Then he got his fat butt up and started waddling through. We kind of like stalked him and followed him. And my dad ended up getting a picture.
The cast members actually said, which this is the first time I've heard this, but they actually said that he will take a picture with you if he wants to.
Right.
Like, you can ask him and he may, but he also is, you know, how they term it in Disney where, oh, he's a bear on the run. You know, he might
Oh, yeah.
just
They
get
literally
up
said
and
that
run.
when we tried to get a picture at first.
Right.
So we stalked him a little bit. And then my dad literally went up and was like, look, my name is Big Al too. Will you get a picture? I've got my 5 grandchildren here. And
And he
he was
did.
like, yes. So we took a picture. And they've started with, I've noticed the roaming country bears when you come out. So again, my number one goal is possibly in May, when I want to be there at the same time Jared is from Capture the Magic. I will give anything to get a picture with him with a full-size country bear. That would be the best ever.
Good luck with that.
So that ended up, I'm just going to say we took a bathroom break because I'm pretty sure we did. And then we found ourselves.
Oh, yeah, because we did. Because I looked in the one shop and I couldn't find y'all. And y'all were standing for the parade.
So the fact that this was spring break, they were having 2 of the festival fantasy parades a day.
Yes.
One was at noon, and I want to say the other was going to be at 3:30. Okay. So I had originally planned that we would do the 3:30 parade, but again, the fact that we were in the most perfect section of it, of Adventureland at the beginning of the parade route, we decided to go ahead and stand for this one. Mm-hmm. Only downside was we were in the sun, but I thought that was okay.
We had lotion. We were prepared.
Yep.
It was fine.
And they had as they often do, they had the roaming photographers with the photo pass going through.
That was awesome.
Got
He
some
was
great
nice.
pictures. Yeah, great pictures of our kids. My dad photobombed, I think, another family so he can be a part of their future. So parade was great. You know, I mean, again, it's something we don't see all the time, but I'm so glad when we do. Mm-hmm. So after that, we went ahead and had Peter Pan as a scheduled fast pass.
Yeah. What was it, 120?
So yeah, I think it was about 120. Yeah, it was over 100.
Something.
For sure, it was over 100 minutes, as always. Again, love this ride. Just don't often use a fast pass on it, and I'm certainly not going to wait the normal 70-plus minutes. But again, love Peter Pan. Had lunch at Pinocchio House after, which you can find out a little bit more in the last episode. And then we had a scheduled fast pass at Seven Dwarfs. So here we are after lunch, and we're actually only using our second scheduled fast pass.
Right.
We've already done Swiss Family, Jungle Cruise, Tiki Room, Pirates, Country Bear, Parade, scheduled Peter Pan, and scheduled Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. Mm-hmm. You know, not too bad.
Yeah.
So then we went ahead and had a scheduled fast pass for Haunted Mansion. So I'm now using the third fast pass of the day. And as soon as we basically burned that fast pass, when we were getting on Haunted Mansion, I knew, again, Small World was, as far as Wednesday and Magic Kingdom went, Small World was like my mom's must-do item.
And we walked by at one point and it was 90 or so minutes. It was a long wait. And your mom was like, no, it's okay. I don't want to wait. And so.
And I was like, we're going to do this.
Right.
Yeah.
Even if we had to use the bonus.
Even if we had to use a bonus, because at this point we still have one bonus left that we can use because we used one on Jungle Cruise and we used one on Pirates.
Right.
So we did still have a bonus if we needed it.
Right.
Right. So I get on and I say, you know what, man, we're already 3, 4 something in the afternoon. I think it was closer to 3. And we're doing Haunted Mansion. And I thought it was probably going to be time for a break back at the room because if we were going to see any sort of nighttime show or fireworks, it was going to be Happily Ever After. Mm-hmm. Like, that's the one we needed to see. So I thought, let's take a break back at the hotel after Haunted, potentially, and then let's come back tonight. We can either use the bonus Fast Pass on Small World or see what's going on. But I thought, I've already burned my 3. I'm now available for another Fast Pass. And another kind of tip. So Seven Dwarves, my mom won't ride. Lila wasn't going to ride, my niece. Right? Or she did ride. I can't remember. But just to make life simple, I took my mom's band and scanned it in at the Fast Pass.
Lila wrote it.
So I took my mom's band and scanned it in at the Fast Pass just so it would take it out of the system, just to make life easy, because I knew once that was done, all 10 of us would be able to book an additional Fast Pass one at a time.
Right.
Sure enough, on Haunted Mansion, booked at I think it was 9 o'clock, Small World, right?
Right.
Immediately went into Modify, moved it up to 8:30. Modify, moved it up to about 8. I modified it 3 or 4 times till we got up to, I want to say 6:30. And I figured we'd be back in the park by about 7. So I knew we had until 7:30 to use it.
Right.
So another thing, if you get a fast pass, whether it's your originally scheduled one at 60 days or whether it's like we did where you've used 3 and you now get an additional one and it's not the time you want, always check about modifying it.
And that also goes
Other
for
stuff
your
will open.
ADR.
Yeah, for dinner as well. And Disney knows you're in the park. They're going to possibly open up something to you that may not be available if they don't know you're already in the park. They knew we were in the park when I was booking Small World. Now, they may not have known that we were going to leave and go back to the hotel, but they obviously thought we were coming back. So I really believe that they're going to release some other fast passes to us, even though maybe somebody outside of the park or somebody who's on their way may not get. So never hurts to modify. Again, if worst comes to worst, you ride the dang thing at 9:30 at night if we had to.
Right.
You know. So once we got back to Magic Kingdom around 7, we did Small World and we had that scheduled fast pass. Made our way over to People Mover, which was our first time in Tomorrowland.
That wait was
It was at
least 15 minutes.
I think it was up to about 35.
The People Mover?
Yeah. And it went
Well, it doesn't ever say.
right.
First
and it
of
went
all.
down, of course, while we were waiting. And
Right.
it was a little bit extra weight because they weren't letting people up. We had talked about burning the 3rd bonus fast pass on Space Mountain, but we weren't so sure that my nephews were ready for a Space Mountain type ride, considering 7 Dwarves was the first one they had
Right.
ever done. So we headed over and used that 3rd bonus fast pass on Big Thunder Mountain.
Yes.
So we had accomplished a lot. I actually started going in after we used Small World and looking for those additional fast passes, but none were really popping up. I think I even got like a Barnstormer or something, but it was at like 10 o'clock at night. And the park was open until extra magic hours was 2 a.m. Normally open to midnight, extra magic hours 2 a.m. So after that, we went and we knew that, hey, you know, these crowds have been insane. We have at 8:55 is Happily Ever After. And if you want to view this show, you need to be on Main Street because you want to see the projections. You want to see the fireworks. You want to see the full experience.
Right.
So we went probably 100 yards back or so from the hub, facing the castle, and we were able to kind of squeeze ourselves into a spot. And we were there an hour early. We got there at 8, would you say, for an 8:55?
Yes, if not, it's a little, yeah.
Yeah. So we got there. Again, you know, it's been a long day. Some kids are getting cranky, but we sat down. My dad ventured off, got kids bottled water. I think they still had cotton candy at that point. Lacey had packed her bag full of snacks. So while we're standing there, we noticed in front of us are 2 of the tallest men I've ever seen at Disney World. First of all, right? And even my mom. And my mom's
tall, but...
what's my mom? 5'4", 5'5", something like that. A little bit taller than you. And we're just thinking if they're going to stand in front of us for the whole firework display, we're not going to see anything.
Even you, which being
even me,
6'3", which is funny.
I mean, I'm 6'3", and I'm even thinking like
I can't see anything at all.
Over these dudes.
Period.
So it turns out one of them ended up leaving. His child was getting cranky, and I mean, not to be mean, I'm kind of like, yes. Maybe
he didn't want to watch him anyway.
He didn't either. Yeah, as they left, he was like, I don't even like fireworks, but. So they left, so we're like, all right, so we kind of filled in their space a little bit, and we're going to have a really good viewing for the fireworks. And we really, really did. Mm-hmm. Now, there's 2 things that I have to say, and you can say I'm wrong. You can do it. Say whatever you want to. Hit us up on Main ST Magic. First of all, the one other guy who was probably 6'5", 6'6", that was to the left of us, right, proceeded to put his 5 or 6-year-old daughter on his shoulders. So
he did?
Yes. He's already 6'5", 6'6", and he puts another 3 foot or so tall kid on his shoulders. First of all, I get it, man. You want your kids to see the fireworks. You don't put them on your shoulders. Please.
Especially when you're that tall. When you're holding your child, their head is as tall as your head.
Which is what I do with Lacey.
That
Lacey
puts
has
him at
the
6'3" or 6'5".
Yep. If I put Lacey on my hip, she now has the same vision as a 6'3" man.
Can you hold me? Because I'm 5'1".
I'm putting you on my shoulders next time. No, to me, putting a child on your shoulder, and I totally get it. You want your kids to see it. It's about your kids, and I get that. but everybody else there paid the same money you did. And if somebody's behind you and you go from being 6 foot tall to 8 foot tall, you're basically saying, I don't give a crap about the person behind me or a group behind me that I'm throwing my kid on my shoulders.
Right.
So there's two options for you. One, put them on your hip like I do with Lacey, where they can see eye level. Okay. Now, I can understand that everybody may not be as incredibly in good shape as I am and as buff as I am, that they can lift their child up. It kills me. It absolutely kills me. My feet hurt. My back hurts. My arm hurts. I have to switch her from side to side. It's miserable for me. But I'm making sure she has a good experience and that everyone behind us and around us has a good experience. Okay, so that's option number one. Option number two is get there in enough time where you're just up front. And if that's 2 or 3 hours prior to the fireworks, then just do it. Instead of basically telling everyone behind you, I don't really care about your vacation. So that's number one. Number two, fireworks are really cool, right? And we are in a Disney media business with the podcast, with the new partnership and the new Capture the Magic network. We're going to start doing a whole lot of video, and we're going to start doing vlogs on YouTube. I understand the need to capture some of these things. So if that's you, my guess is if you're a professional or semi-professional at this, you know how to discreetly videotape some of these fireworks. But if you're the guy in front of us who decided to hold his iPhone plus above his head as high as he could, that guy was not putting that video on YouTube. Like, that guy was not going home and editing a vlog and putting on YouTube.
No, he's probably
that guy was
going,
inconsiderate.
Hey, watch this.
Yeah, that guy was completely inconsiderate of other people. Okay, so first of all, not only is he blocking people behind us, second, he's watching the entire fireworks through his phone. Like, they're literally happening in front of his face, and he's watching it through his phone. It just baffles me. I watched a couple next to us. One of them held the phone until they couldn't hold their arm up long enough.
Many people.
And then they traded it off with their spouse.
Well, many people I saw were holding the phones, but at a normal and respectable
Very
level.
much so. They had them
He
basically either next to their
was
head or in front of their face. And I'm all for
ridiculous.
that. That's cool. I'm all for that. But if this guy was so in need of getting fireworks that he basically blocked everyone behind us, and I had to look through his phone for most of the show. Yeah. And as soon as his arm started getting tired and he started lowering the phone, I was like, yes.
I was about to hit his arm.
I may have verbally said one or two things
I
out
verbally
loud.
said out loud.
He was
either
inconsiderate and oblivious to anyone around him. And if he really wanted to capture this fireworks show to maybe go home and show his friends and his family, dude, it's on YouTube by people that probably filmed it a little bit better than you on your phone. But we can get past that. We don't want to get too critical. I did have to be considerate of people around you. That's all.
Yeah.
Same way with nudging up against people or butting in front of people. You know, if we've been standing there for an hour in this spot and you somehow squeak your way in front of us 5 minutes before the fireworks go off, let's stick away from that maybe.
Yeah. I actually had to send Kaylin, which is not very much shorter than me. She couldn't see, unfortunately, and she's just so big now that I can't even hold her. And she snaked her way through up front. And I think she did have a great view. I was a little bit bigger and couldn't snake my way through. I tried a couple times and looked, because here she is, 10 years old, watching them all by herself. And afterwards she said to me, that she wished I was there. And she was like, Mommy, I saw another mommy and daughter dancing to the music. And it broke my heart.
How the heck did two people have room to dance in that crowd?
Well, where she snuck in at was right before there was a path.
The break, yeah.
The break.
And
So I was happy, very happy for her, but also, a little heartbroken that we didn't hang out. But anyways, the main point is I'm happy that she got to. And, you can, if your kids are old enough and you're okay with it, snake and kind of get a good view, whereas where we were, she could not see.
Yeah.
And I barely could, actually.
Well, but you bring up a great point about the paths, and especially when it's that busy, they need to rope off paths so there's not a fire hazard, and people can either enter or exit the park.
Right.
If you can get on on one of those tape lines that's on the ground.
That's fantastic.
Where
That's
nobody's
going to
because nobody's going to be 8 to 10 feet in front of you for that path. You're talking that's bonus. Like that's the best, especially at Star Wars, the Galactic Spectacular at Hollywood Studios. Because we've done that.
If you just want to kind of bypass all the people, just do a dessert party, which we are doing for Star Wars, and we will report on that for you.
Yeah, I'm excited. And then we can let you know how those are worth it. Because they offer several Happily Ever After dessert parties, which we looked at. We decided
that
to go
may
with Star
be
Wars.
next if Star Wars
Definitely
does really well.
So we finished up Happily Ever After, which we had actually not seen since last May, which was right after its debut. This is only the second time we've ever seen it.
Yeah. So I saw more of it this time.
It's unbelievable.
It really is.
It is so amazing. I mean, the fact that fireworks are outstanding, projections are insane.
Yeah.
And you still get Tinkerbell flying from the castle.
Oh, that's phenomenal.
Which is amazing. So highly recommend Happily Ever After, of course. So went back to the hotel. It was again late, but the next day was going to be Animal Kingdom, and we had again decided we would get a little bit of a later start on the day. And I only say late because I'm a rope drop dude. Like, I will rope drop all day long. I'd like to be in the parks early, finish them up a little bit after lunch, and then go back and enjoy the resort. Again, Animal Kingdom was opening at 8 a.m. No way we're getting there at 8 a.m.
No.
And with our bonus 3 fast passes, there was no reason to get there at 8 a.m.
Correct.
So we decided to meet that morning again. I want to say it was 9:15, 9:30. We got to the park closer to 10. Immediately started off with It's Tough to Be a Bug. Just went right in. This is usually another one that you can walk into. You don't necessarily need a fast pass. We did not this day. I'm imagining in the afternoon it could have been required.
Oh, I think we walked past it and I saw it was like a 60-minute wait.
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
No. Not for...
Tough to Be Bug?
No, we walked. We didn't use fast pass for that.
No. I'm talking later through the day.
Oh, later through the day.
Yeah,
Yes, it was. It was a wait.
But yeah,
like you weren't getting into the show. You were going to... There would be a show getting ready to start, and you were going to wait, let that show go, and then get into another one.
Right.
So, yeah. Okay, gotcha. We had a scheduled Kilimanjaro safari. Went and did that. That wait, I want to say standby was about 85 minutes.
Yes, it was.
So,
which I was shocked because it was still, in my opinion, on the early end.
It was. We were still before lunchtime at that point.
Yeah.
After that, you're right there at Gorilla Falls, and we wanted the kids, especially my niece and my nephews, to see some of the animals, especially the meerkats.
Yeah, those are cool.
If you get a chance to see the meerkats, they are awesome. They're just fun to watch. You can sit there and just watch them all day. So
it's Timon.
Yeah, that's right. I always forget that that's what he is. After that, we decided, all right, I had already started talking to the boys, to Luke and Jack, my nephews, who had just turned 8 a few days before this trip. They did Seven Dwarfs. They liked it. They did Big Thunder,
and
they liked it. I'm like, all right, next progression is Everest. Totally not the next progression. Like,
no,
that's
it's
a pretty big jump,
Yeah.
Big Thunder to Everest, but I made them believe it. So I said, all right, we have a bonus fast pass. We can use it for Everest. Let's head over. And
because the boys were riding it, Kaylin decided to ride it.
That she would. Well, Jack decided he would definitely give it a try. Luke was not so sure. And I told Jack even, I said, and this is what I like about Everest, and if you have a kid that's not sure, I said, let's go stand. They have the overlook where you can see the big mountain and them coming out. And I said, look, nobody's going to force you on this, buddy. Like, let's go look. And if you see these people coming out and you decide you don't want to do it, cool in the gang, we'll leave. But he saw it and was like, yeah, I want to do it. Luke decided, maybe not.
Well, and we also told them the 3 major things, in my opinion, which is it's forwards, backwards, and in the dark.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
then
To me, the drop isn't even the major part. It's the fact that it goes backwards in the pitch black at some point.
I agree.
So we went ahead, did it. Jack absolutely loved it. We come out, so we had burned those bonus fast passes for only some of us. And we said, look, Luke, if you decide you want to do it now, we can go do it again. And he thought, maybe I'm not ready for it. So we had a scheduled fast pass for Dinosaur. Did Dinosaur. Again, love that ride. Wait time standby was probably close to 65, 70 again. So starting to see a trend. We fit lunch in there, obviously, at Satali Canteen, which we all loved, and you can hear more about in the last episode. And then I had already booked at 60 days at 7 a.m. the coveted Flight of Passage Fast Pass.
In the middle of the day.
Yeah, we actually got a really good time on it.
Yeah, we did.
If you have not heard me mention before, when you're planning your trip and you have 60 days of Fast Passes, go to Animal Kingdom's day first. If you're going to be there Monday through Friday, and you're going to be at Animal Kingdom on Wednesday at 7 a.m., 60 days out, start at Wednesday and immediately start at Flight of Passage. It's the only way you're going to get it. I'm telling you. So we went ahead and did Flight of Passage. I think everybody really enjoyed it. So after that, we thought, all right, we're going to do Lion King, Festival of the Lion King. And we're not going to go through an Indiana Jones scenario. We are going to get there an hour early for standby. And everybody said, should we use Fast Pass? At this point, I'm just cocky. I'm like, no, we're not. We're not here an hour early. We're going to do it. But what happened? We got in, didn't we?
Yeah, because we sat there for an hour.
Well, I think everybody
we
needed
could have
a
used a
break
fast
anyway.
pass.
We should have used a Fast Pass, but
that's
bonus.
beside the point. Yeah,
Magical.
because it was bonus. I mean, like, I understand. And yes, absolutely, 100% at that time and the crowds and everything, if you didn't have what we had, absolutely, that was actually worth it. And
yeah,
as to report on it, absolutely. But because we had this bonus, yeah.
Felt
like we didn't have to
King's
wait.
awesome though, and this was this was my mom's one Animal Kingdom like must do was Festival of the Lion King. So we got it done. We got good seats as far as location, not as far as the fact that those seats still don't have backs, and they're made out of I'm pretty sure pins and needles. It feels like, but anyway, so we saw Festival of the Lion King. At this point, we had already used our 3 scheduled Fast Passes. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, all right, we still got bonus, and we have about half the party or more wants to do Cali River Rapids.
And in the beginning, we were going to use a bonus for the Cali.
Correct.
Until
but I thought, you know what?
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, what if I go on, we burned our 3, I can now book an additional. Can I go on and book Cali River Rapids? I did. Yep. We were seeing a 3 p.m. Lion King. I booked Cali for, I want to say about 4 p.m. Again, immediately modified. Got it up to 3:40, modified again, and I want to say I got it up to like 3:10. So we had 3:10 to 4:10 window. I was like, this is perfect. So we went and used a scheduled Fast Pass on Cali River Rapids. Mm-hmm. At this point, it's starting to wrap the day up. Luke decides, you know what? I will do Everest. We still have plenty of bonus Fast Passes left. I think we had to trade a Magic Band or 2 just to take advantage from like my mom who had not done Everest and all before, and we ride Everest. Mm-hmm. So again, if you want to go back, and this is not about, like I've said, this is not about how much you do. It is about making the memories. Mm-hmm. But we had an opportunity to do a lot, which I think helped make the memories. Had we not gotten these additional Fast Passes, which again was just incredible, and I'm honestly waiting
Magical.
for this. Yeah, I'm waiting for this episode to come out today because I had already done a cast compliment on Twitter for Aaron, who helped us out with these, the manager at Coronado Springs, or the guest experience manager at Coronado Springs. I was waiting till this episode came out today, and I'm going to email him personally, and I want to just let him know how much this made our trip, especially, look, for us, for the 4 of us in our family, we get to experience this stuff every month, and we said it before, we're lucky, we're extremely blessed to be able to do this. My parents come about every other year, maybe every other 3. I think we're going to get on a 3 to 4 year rotation with my brother and his kids. They don't get to experience all this time. The fact that they got to experience these things was so important, and it truly made the trip. And that was literally because of Aaron. And so, it did. I still think we would have had an amazing week. Easily would have had an amazing week. Mm-hmm. This just took it to another level because we got to do a lot more things. I don't think we would have waited in any other lines that said 30 minutes plus.
Well, only because I do believe your brother. Like, I think it just depends on the people you are with. Like,
right. If you're not used to that.
Right.
No way.
We've been with people before that's waited an hour.
And they're perfectly okay with
And
that.
yeah,
And that's fine.
we played heads up, no big deal.
Yep. And yeah, so
But this was a situation where this really did make it because of the people we were with.
yeah. Plus, you and I looked like geniuses that we did all this stuff. It was crazy, but we had a blast. Everybody headed home Friday. We stuck around another night. Now, Ron and I did do Epcot Friday, and you can hear more about that on the last episode. We did not do any rides. We just enjoyed Flower and Garden. But I hope this was at least somewhat informational. I know that we had a lot of luck. And I just don't want people to think that when you come down to saying, look, I used 3 scheduled fast passes in one of the busiest times of the year, we still added fast passes on some of these days, and we modified and we did things that the system allows you to do. Just don't forget that.
Right.
You know, I'm not saying you need 3 bonus fast passes and you need this magical miracle, you know, from this awesome manager, Aaron. You can still do a lot by simply knowing the system and using it correctly.
Correct.
And if we had gotten at rope drop on some of these days, we wouldn't have even needed the bonus fast passes.
Probably.
You know, we would have knocked out a Jungle Cruise and a Pirates within the first 45 minutes. So that's, you know, I just want people to understand that that's part of what a lot of it is about. Do you have anything else to add?
No, I think we're good.
All right. Well, I think we're going to wrap it up. Remember, part of the new Capture the Magic Network, which is going to be really cool. So make sure you check out the Capture the Magic podcast. And you can check out Diz Dudes over there.
Diz Dudes.
And then, you know, if you can, go out on iTunes. Not only leave us a rating and review, but if you enjoy Capture the Magic, please leave them a rating and review. And make sure you subscribe to their YouTube channel. Rhonda and I have a anniversary trip coming up in 2 weeks. Just her and I, no children. And we're doing a lot that we're excited to report on. And we're going to do a lot of video that will come out on the Capture the Magic YouTube channel. Well, I think that's all for now. We'll see you real soon.